We are live, DJ Live FPL. Welcome back again. And in this video, I'm covering my Game Week 7 team selection. And if you've watched the previous video, if you haven't, kindly just watch it before this or after this. If you watched the previous video, nilikuwa na make transfer zangu za the previous week. I talked about the team that I talked about my team for the previous week venye Game Week 6 calendar. And then we looked at my team, tukona place tumefika bro, hapo tunahitaji kumake more than like 5 changes in the squad, because I had a team that could play, but I didn't have a bench that I could rotate around. So that was a big issue. I had people on injuries. Niko na wasi expected date back. Watu mse kama Henry alikuwa anasema expected back on June 1st 2024. So I had some issues in my defense. Na nimekuwa nikinsist, if your defense doesn't give you some 10-15 points at the bare minimum, especially around 15 points, you are less likely to go anywhere. So I really had to reshuffle my squad. So unaweza jua tulifanya nini, tulekelea ki Wildcard. Iko hapa twice in the season. So ndatumia ya kwanza saa hii ingine najua nitapewa next year ikianza. But I think this should maybe set up the squad for the next 3 months, October, November, December. Pia within then tutakuwa na some transfers that you can make. But yeah, on the previous video hapa ndio tuliachia. Hiyo video ilishia hapa. This was my squad going into the next game week. Unaona in keeper I had Ariola, I had Ben White in defense, I had Trippier, Lucadinha, niko na Bowen, I also have Gordon, I also have Son facing Liverpool kwa hiyo squad. Na niko na Mbeumo playing against Nottingham Forest. Nuna check in attack I had Watkins, Alvarez and Haaland. So as I completed this video or this previous video, I said that this won't be my last draft, because lazima bado ni check alafu nita update my final team selection coming into Game Week 7. And I think if maybe you don't care to watch the previous video, this is the most important video from my perspective. So I want to show you my final team selection yenye nimeamua kucheza nayo for the next game week. I'll show you my defense, my goalkeeper, my defense, midfield, attacking, alafu pia my bench. We'll cover that in the next 10 minutes or less. So let's get into it. Napaswa kwenda zido manze. So I just want to show you my team selection for Game Week 7, and I'll probably try to break down my reasoning behind it. In defense, I have Raya on goalkeeping stakes. Man, Arsenal playing Bournemouth away. I know that Bournemouth have kind of improved, but they have also had their longest winless streak, which means if you can pounce on them, it could be a great opportunity. The issue with these fixtures is that I think Saka might not be playing, Martinelli is not playing, Trossi is not playing, so I didn't have many options in defense in terms of Arsenal people to choose from, not even in defense, in the whole team. I was able to bring Raya, and I also have an alternative keeper in my bench mwenye najua nitamrotate na nitaweza kumtumia going forward. And in my first defense I have Mikolenko, Everton playing Luton. He's played the last 2 games. Hajacheza any games before that. He's played the last 2 games, full 90 minutes. In Everton I was considering Doucouré, Calvert-Lewin kidogo, but shida ni Everton sidhani inaweza dependia frequently, especially with attacking returns. So I was able to settle in with Mikolenko. I can rotate him from this situation. It's just that this is a better fixture for him compared to the defenders that I have on my bench right now. And I think Mikolenko akona opportunities to go forward as a right back and crossing the ball into the box or into the danger area. And that's why I have him in my squad. I know that the next fixtures for Everton are also not very bad. Beside him I have Trippier playing Burnley at home. Yeah, Trippier, if you watched the previous video, I said that it transfer Trippier liniuma, because if you look at those previous video, or if you just try to get into my channel, if you look at 2 of the last 3 thumbnails, they had Trippier. Newcastle have had hard fixtures currently so far, na sahi ni ile point wanaingia fixtures za maana, na nimechukua Trippier because of his attacking returns. It's either I choose Trippier or some Estupinan type. na singeenda na kina Botman, Danban. I had Danban when I started this season, but nilicut my ties with him. I want Trippier. I've tried and I've tested him before. In my experience, I've used him before. Nimepata points mingi zake in my real life. Huyu msee last season ilikuanga point yenye ningemvalisha captaincy cause he'd easily give you a 9 times 2, 8 times 2, 16. Worst comes to worst. Kama hujui nani to captain, Trippier was a really good selection at that point, and with Newcastle's fixtures, I'm happy to take him. Sijui ningeongezea another Newcastle defender hapa, maybe ningecheza na Pop, but it was a financial issues. Shida ilikuwa ya do iko inatosha kufanya hizo vitu. Raya is sitting as 4.8 million. Other prime goalkeepers ni 5.5M. Na I think having Trippier in my squad just gives me an added advantage in terms of attacking returns. He's on set pieces. All set pieces for Newcastle, it's him. And beside him, I have Sufal. West Ham playing Sheffield at home. This is a very straightforward fixture. Honestly, I didn't even have to think about this twice. I knew that Sufal had to get into my squad. Again, West Ham are really on a good streak. Na again, nimekujua mse for attacking returns. Siamini clean sheet really. If West Ham play good cause Prem ujue ni ngumu. Kama West Ham wamecheza venye wamecheza so far, manze awase kama haja kuconvince in a sense. You just need to watch most of their games. Just try to watch most of their games because they've been pretty convincing so far, and that's why I have Sufal in my squad to help complement that. And I also have someone else in my squad to complement Sufal's attacking threat ama defensive work. In midfield, bro, hapa nilikuwa na kazi mob, nilikuwa na decisions za kumake. Nimework around fitting Salah into the squad because if I can't get Salah on a wildcard, it will be harder to get him later on. So you kind of make sense. He's 12 million. He's 12M. If I can't get him with a wildcard, ile time yenye naweza experiment different combinations, different changes freely, itakuwa hard kumget tena. So na unajua Salah upende hizi fixture moto. Ni Tote, ni Man City, ni Arsenal. Kwa akisikia Man City, hizo ndizo fixture unakimbilia Salah. But I can't give him the captaincy. Ndio upate captaincy kwa hii squad lazima umekaa hapa at least 3 weeks. 3 game weeks. Hata Madison should be a better vice captain. Nashukuru nitaanza kuweka ile symbol ya vice captain hapa. So Madison and Salah facing each other. Tottenham, if you observe something in my defense, sijakuwa na Tottenham defender. Hata keeper. Kwanza ujue ukibai Salah una havingi kucompromise vitu mingi. Ukibai Salah you just have to compromise on many other aspects. And I didn't have the luxury to have a broad defense, especially kwa goalkeeping. Ona Trippier is already 6M. Trippier is already 6.5M. Na nimeka Salah 12M. Madison 7.9M going to 8M in the next week. Akiperform wiki anaingia 8M. So I found it best to fit Salah into my squad right now. Acha nimtry sign a wildcard knowing that I can sell him to upgrade someone in the same position if I want to. Na pia venye nimeseti hii wildcard, si expect nahitaji kumake a transfer next week. I think the next time that I should be making transfers itakuwa game week 8 or 9. Honestly, spasi kumake transfer until game week 9. I need to play game week 7 and 8 comfortably with this squad, rotating it. Salah is a really nimesema Salah anapenda hizi fixture. Madison is on all set pieces. Nilitry kuweka Son kwa hii squad, and I think I've shown you in how the last video ended. I had Son in that group, and I also had Salah and Haaland, and I had to compromise on many other things. But ndio niweze kukuwa na a better balance, I had to give up Son for Madison, because first of all I've had Madison in since game week 3-4 na amenipatia real life points. Sitaki kukimbilia Son cause ya hype ama cause ya vitu nimepromisiwa. So one of my better solutions was to swap Son for a homegrown Madison. Umse namjua in person, nimepata points zake in person. Sitaki kukimbilia hype ya Son, but nilikuwa nataka pia Son, but if I had to get Son I couldn't get Salah, so I had to make a bit of a trade off And beside them I have Bowen, so I'm playing with a 3-4-3 formation, 3 defenders, 4 mids. Bowen, man, naona hii fixture inaweza kuwa tamu. And the next few games for West Ham are also very friendly. Just as I said with Sufal, this is a really easy fixture for Bowen. His XG has been high. His shots on target has been on point. He's been pretty convincing. So I felt that at 7.1 million, this was a really easy transfer to make. Acha nimlete sahi. Any positioning, if I didn't have Bowen in this position, it was kitu kama Mitoma or Ward-Prowse, but yet again trade-offs. So I wanted to go with Bowen. Ward-Prowse sounds like a better option because of his set piece ability. Near na set up corners za West Ham. Right beside him I have Gordon. I needed a Newcastle attacker. Last week I bought Wilson. Shida strikers wa Newcastle sasa ni story na rotation, na hii squad yao ni kubwa. Na kila msee anahitaji kucheza na anahitaji guarantee ya first minutes. If you're not starting the games, sidhani inaweza kuaminia long term. This was a no-brainer. Playing Burnley at home, and the next few fixtures for Newcastle are also friendly. They've already played their hard games. This was a really easy pick. And in attack, I have new signings, 2 strikers wenye wajakuwa hapa. If you can see on my left hand side, I have Nketiah playing Bournemouth away. First of all, naelewa hiyo game ya Bournemouth si ati itakuwa straightforward. I just hope that Arsenal will have a clear team to play. I was considering Odegaard for Arsenal, but having watched Arsenal's games, Nketiah has been by far the most threatening. Shida Nketiah pia nilikuwa naogopa playtime rotation. As Jesus was coming back, venye Jesus amerudishwa, or actually venye hata watacheza, ni kama coach ako willing kuweka, kama anadai ku accommodate Nketiah na Jesus kwa squad moja, ana prioritize Nketiah as a striker and Jesus as the left wing or in LS. So at 5.5M, no, kumbuke nimetoka ku accommodate Salah, so nime have to compromise on these other areas. Hizi si ndizo price points za Joao Pedro, si ndizo price points za Ferguson. So this was a really easy decision for me, with Saka not being in my squad, and Nketiah hasn't gotten attacking returns FPL wise, but kwa Grau anacheza poa sana. I'm willing to risk him for the next 2-3 games. If things don't go to plan, I will swap as required. My captaincy is still with Haaland, and beside him it's Alvarez. Man, huyu boy ni mchafu, na kama ni kitu utakume notice kwa hii squad yangu, kila mtu kwa hii squad amekuwa akicheza some 90 minutes. Ukiangalia at least 3 of the last 6 games, or 4 of the, ukiaverage about 4 of the last 6 games, they are playing 90 minutes plus on average. So that was my kind of mindset coming into this game week and the next few weeks for this squad. So I really had a huge insistence on playtime. My issue with my previous squad is that my defenders are not playing. I started, Gabriel wasn't playing, Ben-Mee wasn't fit, anatokea on and off. Watu wengine jokes. I also had to give Rodri away because sitangoja hadi game week 9 ndio nimchezeshe kwa squad. If you're trying to have multiple Man City players, Alvarez should be one of them easily. And ningempea captaincy, but captaincy nakana mse amekuwa kwa hii squad until umeniprove otherwise. So until I get his points and I get them in full, that's when he can get the armband. Cause kama si Haaland sahi ni Madison. Salah amesainiwa sahi. Until nipate points zake at least 2-3 times, twice hivi, ndio naweza mpea captaincy at least. And in my bench, and that's why I wanted to have a really strong bench. Look, I have Alphonse Areola. I didn't want to play Areola in the same game na bado nichezeshe Sufal na bado nichezeshe Bowen. So I wanted to put him in goalkeeper. I know that I can rotate his position with Sufal and I also have Luka Dean and Walker. The problem with these Wolves fixture is that kuna possibility ya kuconcede, na ndio nipate more than 2 points from Walker, it will have to be an assist kind of. And since I've also signed him recently and he's also performed recently, I kind of think let me just put him on the bench. At least in ile bench yenye inaweza cheza bench boost at this point. Neto can't play Neto on this fixture against Man City. Nitamweka other fixtures. If he performs, that is well and good, but against Man City hawatakuwa na possession manze. Just with Nottingham, if you saw Nottingham, they weren't getting the ball against Man City. The only time they were able to get some possession and a bit of attacking threat, it's as after there was a red card and they were more in the pitch. So this is my bench. I have Luka Dean. I have sold Watkins. Inamaanisha nimeachana na Watkins, but najua kama mtu atasupply Watkins ni Luka Dean. So that's my team going into next week. One of the things that I was considering, I had a small list. Nikeka wase venye na categorize price point na venye naweza work na wao. So I had Casemiro, Rodri or Doucouré or Neto, and the one that is in bold ni mwenye nilipick. I also have Almiron. I was considering Almiron or Gordon. Gordon was at a best price point 5.7, Almiron 6.3. Nimeona Gordon akiperform, na since akona a kind of assured playtime, starting playtime, this was a really easy fixed decision for me. I had to sell Mitoma. I've already gotten his points. I'm happy to come and buy him back, but a rotation ya Brighton imeni make a bit hesitant to bank with them. I decided to just play this team as it is. I was to decide either between Salah, Son or Fernandez. No, the one in bold is the one I picked. And in this other list, I had Alvarez, Nketiah, and Ferguson. Ferguson really hata simhesabu, acha nimdelete. Had Alvarez or Nketiah. Nashuku mwingine ni Joao Pedro, but shida ni playtime. So in this line, I had to pick these two venye tu wameshikana, cause next below them it was either considering Nunez, Wilson or Watkins. Having Salah meant that I didn't need Nunez. Having Gordon means that it's not a must to have Wilson, considering haujui ni yeye ama Isa Katanza, but hata kama most likely ni yeye, it's just a confusing situation to be in. Watkins, I've just decided to part ways with these. Naweza mkujia game week 9-10 huko. Wacha nimpe time. So far amenipea some good returns. I was willing to sell him, na pia shida yake pia ni price point. Singeweza kumaccommodate with Salah in my squad. Hata Wilson, these are 8 million players. So that's my squad and that's my mindset coming into this game week. Again, we'll come back next week and see how we perform. If you just want to see an overview of this team as it's going into the next game week, even ndivyo wako. I know I have 2 players flagged, okay? Kesho bado ikifika after na kuna team news, naweza jua nani na nani. Au tu ndio naweza rotate, but I think Madison is here to play. Mikolenko, I don't think he should be out. Ikikuwa hard, I just only swap Mikolenko and Walker if kama itakuwa a bit kind of confirmed that hatacheza. So that's my team selection for game week 7. Thank you for watching this video. See you guys on the next video. We'll come back with we'll react to this, see where we went wrong, see where we went right, and pick up on that and keep on learning. DJ Live FPL. Let's see you guys on the next video. Peace.
Ay, BTL drop, Radika Ruka. I gave her Kichoika Ruka. She gave me inside the Uber. Liambaga was sitting at date nikamruka. Put on my dip when I was a peruka. Kama tumnyambo, I be with my shooter. She is a soldier, she is a trooper. The way that she stay with my stick ndani ya nyumba. BTL